Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday. We are live. We are live at 5. How is everyone? How is everyone? I'm going to wait a couple of minutes for people to jump on. That's what I always do. I hope your week is going good so far. Hope your week is going good. What I like to do, I wait a couple minutes just for people to come on, people to get the notification that there's a training and that what they signed up for, they remember. So we'll just kind of wait a few minutes. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cheryl Hager. I started a maid service company by myself. I was a solo cleaner, and now I am a cleaning business coach, and I help cleaning businesses and maid service owners hire their dream teams, master the art of selling, and I teach them how to execute the result producing activities in your business that are actually going to get you results. I also own maidbrite.cleaning, maidbrite.cleaning. Yes, my husband's a techie, .cleaning. And I show you how I did it. I must have made... Hi, Kelly. How are you? If you're joining us for the first time, say hi. We're a very friendly group. We meet every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Boston. But yeah, say hi. Tell me where you're from if you're tuning in for the first time. What was I saying? I don't remember. I founded this group, Sisters Who Scale. I'm assuming some of you have watched my trainings in Maid. I did a training a little while ago, how to become the #1 cleaning business in your area without spending a dime. That was very successful. And they've asked me to do some more things again. So you're going to see me popping up on the Maid radar. We just did a case study, an interview last week, and I'm going to be doing some minute-to-minute trainings. That's super exciting. I love Maid. We use them, in the beginning and still do to this day, and they're fantastic. Fantastic CRM built strictly for maid service owners, which is what I like. So I started the business myself. I started solo cleaning. I was the Energizer Bunny. Some days I'd clean 4 and 5 houses a day by myself. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I did that, but I did it in the beginning. But I learned quickly that I couldn't do it forever. So I no longer clean. I had a back injury that prevented me from continuing. And that's part of the reason why I started this group, is to teach other cleaning business owners what not to do, really. How not to burn yourself out. I run my business. I'm an active service, maid service owner to this day. We have a couple of locations. We actually have 2 locations, working on a 3rd right now, so pretty excited about that. I run the business. I took it from zero because I started with nothing. I had no loans. I didn't have a money tree in the back of my yard. I started it myself. I've grown it over 700K in about 4 years. And I show people how to do the same thing that I did. So it's cool. I work the business about 20 hours a week. I have an amazing staff. I have leaders. I teach you how to build your tiers of management, your leaders, so you don't have to clean for the rest of your life. Because most of the time, if you're cleaning after, 3 or 4 years, you eventually want to quit, right? So I teach you how to do that. It's actionable steps. It's leverage systems. It's focused execution. And mastering the art of consistency, which is the crux of your entire business. Okay, entire business. A lot of people ask me how I do it. I tell them that. How did I scale it? Consistency, focus, discipline. And it wasn't always fun, and it wasn't always easy, right? I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's, so that's why some people like to work with me, because I tell you how it is. And I always feel that if you work from ground zero, from the bottom, and you work your way up, you'll do that much better. So why was my cleaning business a disaster in the beginning? I paid people on their table. I let them run the schedule. I let them tell me when they were gonna work. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. It was chaos in the beginning. And so what do I do as a coach? I help you not do chaotic things in your business. I teach you the same things that I did, that I do, and that I still do in my own business, depending on where you're at, everyone's in a different place in their business, but I help you skip over mistakes, skip all the crap, and start building good habits right away. So you see, you can spend a ton of time analyzing and looking at something 3 or 4 ways and stalling and procrastinating and not making a decision. But what you have to realize is that you're delaying your own success by doing this, right? You're putting off the gains in the income. You're putting off learning how to hire and manage staff correctly because you're afraid of it. You're putting off learning how to get out of the field and get that time freedom that you know you need. Everyone knows you need time freedom, right? Some of you are cleaning 6 days a week. How do I know this? Because I work with hundreds of cleaning business owners, and this is what I hear. You're burnt out. I know what that feels like, right? I know what that feels like because I was you. Everything you're feeling right now, I have felt. We all come from the same grain, the same cloth, however you want to say it. So you can't dream it or wish it. You got to do it. You have to execute, right? And you need to take the necessary steps to build your cleaning business because it won't build itself if you don't, how do I say this? If you don't, not forcefully, but if you don't make the changes aren't going to make themselves, right? So let's get into today's training, how you can stop cleaning toilets for good, which basically means how you can get out of the field. Let me just check in and see who's on. Hi, Amanda. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. A lot of people watch this on replay. They sign up and they're watching on replay. So being a boss is 2 things. It's hard and it's absolutely great. Why is it both? Because you have to make all the decisions and you get to make all the decisions at the same time. And those things mean 2 completely different things. A lot of people ask me how I did it, how I scaled my own company, and how I got out of the field. It was a labor of love, right? I had no choice but to get out of the field. My back, one morning I woke up, I couldn't get out of bed, right? So what does this mean? What does this mean when you go to work and you have a staff and you feel like they're running you? I always tell everyone this. You can't let the foxes guard the hen house, right? What are the foxes going to do if they guard the hen house? They're going to eat the chickens, right? They're going to eat the chickens. You don't want them to eat the chickens. Think of the chickens being your profits, okay? That's what that means. You cannot let your staff run your business, okay? The hen house is precious. It's your precious business, and the foxes will eat it alive if you're not on watch. So there has to be structure. There has to be rules. Employees need rules. They like to follow guidelines, okay? And that's where a lot of people miss the boat. You think you're making it easier for them and you're a cool boss when there's a loose set of rules, but you're actually making it harder for them because they don't know what to do. They're employees, and employees are used to following guidelines, following rules. They don't think like us entrepreneurs. We like to make our own rules. They don't want to make their own rules, right? We need to make their rules for them. But if you let them, they will try and run your business because they don't know any better. They need rules, they need guidelines, and they need structure. A lot of times you forget that this is your business, this is your schedule, and your clients. You are the boss. They're not the bosses, right? They're employees. Sometimes they have great ideas and you should lean on them for the great ideas, but every once in a while you'll get one that likes, or like you'll get one that thinks they are in charge a little too much, right? And they can get this notion that they're a boss. Has this ever happened to anyone? I don't know if anyone on tonight has employees yet. Hi, Amber. Hi, Candace. Hi, Sarah. Yes, and yes, right. Candace has employees. Candace just graduated from the Drop Them Up and Scale Accelerator, and she just joined the Sisters Mastermind. Yay! So now we're going to double Candace's business. So you can't have employees saying things to you. And I just was on a private call with Angie Hardy from New York. She's got a cleaning business, had it for 30 years, and we're trying to get control of her staff because the staff is like just crazy, right? So, but we're working on it. Things are getting better. So you can't have employees say things to you in the morning like, oh, I need to get out early today, because you know you've set the schedule for the day. Or I have a doctor's appointment at 12, so I can only work till 12. So what are they going to do? Work 8:30 to 12? Like, that's not enough. Or can I meet the team at the first house? No, you can't. Everyone comes to the office, unless you don't have an office and you're meeting at the first house. That's different. But if you have an office, everyone has to come to the office and keep congruency. Or how about something like, can you pair me with someone else? I don't like working with someone, so that's what Angie's dealing with right now. And if you're on the call, Angie, sorry, but I'm using you as an example because we're gonna fix everything. And we have been fixing some stuff. So you can't let the inmates rule the asylum. Has anyone heard this before? If you have employees, anything like this, raise your hands, say hi. So say me if this is resonating with you. You need to remember that you're the boss. You make the rules. Rules are meant to be followed in an organization, and staff need order. They need law and order. They need structure. So you can't not have any rules. People thrive when they follow directions. So you're the one in charge of making the directions, the systems they can follow that will ultimately form order in your company. Is this making sense? Let me see if anyone's had problems. 2 weeks notice. That's right. That's right. Hi, Laura. How are you? Yep. No, I know, Candace. I know you've been there, but you're fixing stuff. You're awesome. You're doing amazing. Come on. You know that. So, okay, let's talk about a few things that can get you out of the field and get that toilet brush out of your hand, except with your own house. Okay, what's the biggest thing that you think maid service owners struggle with? I wonder. And it's not what you think, all right? It's not what you think. I'm just going to tell you because you won't guess it. Number one, you're a control freak. That's what it is. Just get it out in the open. You're a control freak. Who's a control freak? I'm going to raise my hand if you raise your hand. Raise your hand if you feel that you're a control freak. Raise your hand if you think you can do everything better than anyone else with regards to cleaning a house. Who's going to say yes? Who's going to have the guts to say yes? Who's going to say yes? Yeah, Amanda, Laura, Candace, letting go. Letting go is the hardest thing we do. Totally, right? So, someone that's a control freak, and I'm not naming any names, someone that's a control freak is you tend to micromanage, right? Because it's your baby. Control freaks, they micromanage every aspect of a project or a task, refusing to delegate authority, okay, or trust others to get the job done. I know this sounds familiar. Do you find that any of you do this? I think you do, right? A control freak will also refuse to delegate. But there could be reasons behind this. Maybe you have difficulty trusting others, right? That could come from past experiences, and it may not even be related to the cleaning business, right? That's the thing. It could be like a past experience with a boyfriend or something, right? Like, do you prefer to maintain control over every detail? You feel sometimes you can do it the best, right? This could stem from having people let you down. So this stuff may not be your fault. So you kind of have to forgive yourself on this. Maybe in the past, like a situation that soured you, or another thing is you have difficulty adapting to change. Anyone have difficulty adapting to change? Say change. That's how I know. I happen to like change, but some people don't like change. And control freaks may struggle to adapt to changes in plans or in procedures, like preferring to stick rigidly to their own methods or ideas, right? Being very rigid. Being very rigid can make your life very difficult if you own a business. You have to be flexible, all right? It's detrimental if you're trying to grow as a boss because you're not always going to be right, right? And it's hard to realize that. You have to be a little bit flexible and open, right? Let me give you an example. One of your staff believes she can get a house done quicker if she cleans everything on the second floor first, the bathrooms, dusting, vacuuming, mopping, and then goes to the downstairs and does the same routine rather than dusting the whole entire house. Go upstairs, do the bathrooms, then make her way downstairs. If she brings to your attention when she's solo cleaning, she's able to cut an extra 15 minutes. That's okay, because now that's saving the company money, all right? Would you go for it, or would you be rigid that you say, no, it needs to be done my way? That's an interesting question. Would you let her make a suggestion? Would you consider it? Okay. Who would consider making a suggestion? So the whole thing of it is she's showing you a more efficient way to do something. So are you going to be open to it? Or are you going to be rigid and turn her idea down? What if it saves you some labor? What if it makes you more money? This is the difference between being a control freak and being open to ideas and empowering your team. Which, if you empower your team, you're going to grow your team. And if you can grow your team, you can grow your revenue. That's how it's done. Is this making sense? Gabriella, hi, nice to see you, Gabby. I would consider letting it do it her way. Good, good. I allow suggestions. Good, okay. Trust for sure, girls get catty. Yeah, I mean, they're girls, right? I hate to say it, we're all girls. Sometimes, okay, Kelly would consider it. Amanda would consider it. Amber would consider it. Laura Jean, okay, all right, this is good. This is very good. Very good. I mean, you could run what she's doing and it could not work, right? But at least you gave it a shot. So sometimes control freaks need to be involved in everything. Like, do you feel the need to be involved in every decision or every single aspect of the business, even when it's not necessary or not efficient? Like, what if your team was in a house and they ran out of multi-purpose but improvised and they used the client's dawn instead? Like, would you freak out on them for not having enough with them for the day, or would you let it slide? That's like a real life example, right? If they're obviously using the client's product, they ran out of it, they're taking initiative and they're doing something, you're not going to want to have them drive back to the office and get the product just to be rigid. Does that make sense? I would say, okay, cool. Next time, make sure you have enough multi-purpose or whatever you're using, salad suds, and make sure you have that prepared, right? So a lot of times control freaks have a fear of failure, right? A fear of failure. Control freaks, they often have like a deep-seated fear of failure that could have come from other stuff from in a past life, which drives their need to control everything to ensure the outcomes meet their standards, right? If you hold your standards too high, you're going to get disappointed every single time. I always tell everyone that I work with, you clean a house 100%, right? You clean it great. You have to be happy with your staff cleaning at 90 to 95%, maybe like 93 to 95%. 90 is kind of low. 93, 95%. You need to be happy with that. As long as you're not getting complaints, as long as the clients aren't canceling, stuff like that, right? So a lot of times control freaks have that fear of failure, or they're their own worst critics. They self-criticize themselves and they don't want to be judged by other people. Anyone have a fear of being judged? Right? We want everything to be perfect. We don't want to do the wrong thing, right? They may internalize and perceive these failures as personal shortcomings. Like, that's like, these are like the things I'm talking about, ladies, that like you lay in bed at night and you think about, oh my God, I forgot to move the toaster and get the crumbs. Like, that is okay, right? Everyone is human, okay? Like, people that have a fear of judgment, they judge themselves, right? And what happens is you further fuel, this is a lot of F's, you further fuel your fear of failure and your need for control. So this is kind of a form of insecurity. I don't want to say that, but it is. And it can be rooted from past experiences. So it's not like you did this to yourself and you're a bad person. It's just going to kind of happen. But you need to learn how to recognize it when it does happen, right? Control freaks are perfectionists. They want everything perfect. A lot of the people I work with, I find that they are control freaks and they won't act on something until they feel that everything is perfect. What happens when that happens? You're stalling your success. You just need to roll stuff out, like roll your posts out on your Facebook groups, even when they're not perfect, just to get something out there. Because otherwise you're stalling your success. You may obsess so much over the minor details and talk yourself out of what you're doing, right? You insist that you follow rigid standards. So now think about that. If you insist that you follow rigid standards, doesn't that make sense that when you go to train your teams, you're going to train rigidly? Right? There's one thing about teaching people a system, but there's another thing about being so rigid that there's no flexibility. That causes people to quit, right? Causes people to quit. Of course, you have to have standards for your business, right? You have to have standards. You should have standards, but if you're too rigid, you're setting yourself up and you're setting your teams up for failure, all right? So now, what happens? What's a result of being a control freak? You can create a tense work environment. Nobody wants to work in that. Everyone wants to have nice, fun, easy days, right? That controlling behavior can create tension and resentment among team members, leading to what? Decreased morale, decreased productivity, right? Decreased productivity, lower employee retention rate. This is the reason why everyone keeps getting pulled back in the field. If you're constantly micromanaging your people, all right, and you're feeling like think about this. If you're an employee and you're getting micromanaged, you're feeling that your contributions are undervalued. And this can lead to dissatisfaction for them in the workplace, right? This could cause your higher employee turnover rates. You want people that contribute their ideas, that like who they work with, that like their bosses. You need to be a cool boss. You need to be cool. It's difficult to be a cool boss and a stern boss at the same time. It's like wearing two hats, right? So employees may seek out more supportive and empowering work environments somewhere else. This is real stuff, right? People want to be valued. They don't want to be micromanaged. They of course want direction. They want to be told what to do, but they want a little bit of flexibility in there, right? They want to like where they work. Is this making sense? I'm going to check in. Are you a perfectionist, Kelly? Oh, we're going to have a good time when you start hiring people. We're going to have a good time. We've had a good time. Yeah, Candace, she said she's had petty, techs leave the job for petty things, right? Let it slide. You have to be flexible. You have to be flexible, right? Fear of failure. Fear of failure stems from other things sometimes, right? Your need to feel like if it's not rolled out in a perfect way, it's not going to work, right? Yeah, I'm super critical too, but I've learned to bend with my staff. I'm super critical of myself, but I've learned to bend with my staff. So these things can lead to limited innovation, limited creativity. They get bored with the job. Control freaks often stifle creativity, and this innovation by insisting on their own ideas, their own methods, leaving little room for experimentation or new approaches. Like I said, that example, from the beginning, if one of your staff she thinks she has a more efficient way of cleaning her house, hear her out. What's the worst thing that can happen? It doesn't work. All right. What if it does work? What if it ends up saving you a ton of money in labor, right? Yeah. So this can result in missed opportunities sometimes, right? Missed opportunities and decreased growth and improvement. Not to mention reduced morale. If you're controlling everyone all the time, working on a control freak sucks, right? It can create tense, stressful work environments where employees don't feel trusted, they feel undervalued, and then, low morale. What happens with that? People call out. So you get absentee problems, you get decreased engagement, people aren't listening to, they're going to do their own thing, lack of commitment to the company goals. This is a big thing, and this can damage your overall team and your overall relationships. You want to have great relationships with your people, right? Your relationships with your staff are so important. They're more important than them being an A+ cleaner. Those people are going to stay with you. They're going to be loyal, right? They're going to stay, and that's what you want. You want them to guard to guard the castle when you want to take a day off or you want to take a week off. These are the people you need to rely on. This is difficult for a control freak to rely on someone all the time. So how can you stop being a control freak? Let's talk about this. Number one, you got to recognize the behavior. Who here thinks that they're truly a control freak? I'm better now. I wasn't always like this. I'm better now. I'm a lot better now. But the first step in overcoming this is your ability to recognize when you're being overly controlling, right? Pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to your feelings, your actions in various situations to identify when you're exhibiting controlled behavior, right? I'm gonna check in. Who's a control freak? I'm not as critical. I know you. I know who's a control freak on this call. Give yourself permission to forgive yourself, right? Don't get caught up in that bottled up perfection that everything needs to be perfect. Realize that being a great boss is learning something new every day, being open, like being objective to new things. Like you can't be a subjective boss. You have to be flexible, right? Being a boss is going to challenge you in more ways than you realize right now. And if you want long-term success, which I know most of you do, most of you want to get out of the field, you need to be flexible, because if you're not flexible, being a boss may not be for you, because you're going to have to be flexible more times than you're going to be unflexible, right? Does this make sense? Set realistic expectations. So accept that perfection is unattainable, right? It's unattainable. And that failure is a natural part of the learning process. I don't really like to use the word failure in business, because I feel that you have to try stuff. And if it doesn't work, some of you might think, oh my God, I failed at that. I'm like a horrible business person. No, you just went through an experience that didn't work. You have to kind of like reframe how you think about that. You don't want to consider anything as a failure. The more you think you fail, the closer you are to getting it right. Right? The more no's you get, the more walls are up, the closer you are to breaking down those walls, getting those yeses. You have to keep going. And the people that succeed, the difference between the people that succeed and the people that don't succeed is the people that succeed keep going, and they keep failing forward through these failures. That's the difference. And when you feel like you're at a crossroad and you feel like you could be at the breaking point, is usually when right before you're going to have an epiphany and something's going to change. So you have to keep going, because you don't know. You could be so close to success, it's right on the other side. So if you quit, you're never going to know, right? You're never going to know. So you have to give yourself permission, right? You have to give yourself permission, forgive yourself. You have to set realistic expectations, okay? It's not going to go your way every single time. You have to be willing to make mistakes to learn, right? And don't beat yourself up. I see, especially women, like we just are so unforgiving of ourselves, right? Everything needs to be perfect, right? You need to forgive yourself, forgive the situation, and move on. You all can do this. You all can create the business of your dreams and stop cleaning and start delegating and working on your business and not in your business, right? I did it. You all can do it. Is that making sense? Tell me if this is making sense. Quitting isn't an option. That's right. That's right. You're a toughie. Candace is a toughie. You want to learn from someone? Learn from her. She's a badass. She doesn't give up. She may have crappy days, but she doesn't give up. That's right. That's right, Pia. Pia is Sarah, but Pia is the nickname of her daughter. Her daughter calls herself Pia because she couldn't say her own name, which is Sophia. So Sarah's name on Facebook is Pia, but it's actually Sarah. if anyone knows. Anyone have any questions? We got a few minutes. Any questions here? Oh, wait. Any questions about this topic? Anyone? I'll scroll up here. Hi, Ariel. How are you? As long as the quality isn't negatively affecting. Exactly. Then that's the difference, right? You have to know how to recognize like what is that and what that's not, right? Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Any questions? Nope, no questions. I'm working on some exciting stuff behind the scenes. I'm in the process of creating a Sisters Who Scale University, which I'm so thrilled about. There's going to be a lot of cool things going on. Amanda, I'm still learning how to deal with my first employee. Yeah, we'll have to talk. We have a call on Friday. Amanda's in the Drop Them Up and Scale program. She's doing amazing. Like, absolutely amazing. But I want to know, because I know you hired someone, so hopefully it was going as good as last week. Sometimes things change. Sometimes things change from week to week. So yes, so Sisters Who Scale University is going to be full of all kinds of cool stuff, more products, more adaptable things that you can just download and use directly in your business. I listen to everyone in the classes, everyone in the program. I'm always asking for feedback, and so what I'm getting is the things that are going to be released shortly in the program. And I'm also starting an affiliate program where you all can earn money on referring Sisters Who Scale University. So that's coming up. I'll tell you more about it. I'm working on it now behind the scenes. It's not 100% fleshed out yet, but I'm going to tell you. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. There's going to be more things available, but there's also going to be, you guys will be able to have your own affiliate codes, log into a portal, and actually make money, right? As being like part of the loyal live at 5 people on Wednesday, you guys can refer other people and make money on stuff like that. So it's going to be cool, but there's going to be like more things all the time. So I'm pretty psyched about it. I'm pretty happy. But no one has any questions. I hope this was helpful. Say goodbye to the control freak in you, right? You have to say goodbye to the control. It's stressful. Amanda, why is it stressful? Having an employee stressful? Everyone's liking that, right? Who said, yep. Why is it stressful, Amanda? I'll wait for your answer. I want to know why it's stressful. Last week was awesome. You said she was good, but I think she talks a lot, right? I think that's what you said. Let me see what you say. I mean, customers are iffy. Oh, okay. How so? How are the customers iffy? They don't like her? Is she too talkative? Does she not do a good job? Like, what? Why are they iffy? That's interesting. Iffy. Okay, I'm waiting for an answer. If you want to sidebar, message me if you want to talk about it. We can too. Yeah, I know, but you can't do 20 houses a week, right? You can't do that. So they have to get used to it. You have to just keep coming with her. If you like her, and you think that you think she's going to be a good fit, if she's doing a good job, if she's relieving your body of some stuff, they have to get used to her. You're new people now. These are your old people that have just seen you. You're new. If you start taking on new clients, they're not going to know a difference. So there is going to be that point where you need to transition the old people, and you may lose some old people, but you know what? This is your business. You make the decisions. She's getting better than talking. All right. Yeah, I think you probably talked to her about that, though. Hey, be quiet. Just keep cleaning. Shut up. They have to get used to it. But like I said, as you start adding new clients, they're not going to know the difference. They're just going to know you and her. And then eventually, hopefully, you can just send her, right? They're not going to know the difference. It was the same way with me. People were like, oh, we like better when you clean, you know what I mean? And then I think I was bringing Donna back then. And eventually, they were okay with it. Now no one knows the difference. Now everyone knows that I don't clean. I don't even think anyone on my schedule. No, I have a few people. I do have a few people on my schedule that I have cleaned. Yeah, probably like 10 of them. But the rest of them, they don't know me as a cleaner. So that happens over the years. Everyone will be fine. Tell them not to get their panties in a bunch. You need to build your business. All right, ladies, I hope you have an awesome evening. I hope this was helpful. Stop being a control freak. All right, I'll see you all next week. And you guys are going to be seeing me more on the Zen Maid page as well. I'm going to be doing some more trainings and some clips, so look for me in the Zen Maid Inner Circle and their pages as well. All right, have a good night. Bye.